Brock Purdy was one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, the Niners lost this game. As bad as Kyle Shanahan was, he schemed up the deep throw to Kittle that probably should have been a touchdown early in the game. And Purdy missed it. It was so underthrown that it was almost a pass interference penalty on the defense because Kittle had to stop and wait for the ball. It was like a 30-yard throw. Now, maybe it was raining, but it was an awful deep throw. And then at the end of the game, like in almost back-to-back plays, now Kyle Shanahan should be running the ball here, but, he gets impatient. He's not exactly Sean McVay. So he takes a shot. And it's to Ricky Pearsall, which is like, yeah, great. At least it's not Debo. And definitely don't go to whatever you do, don't throw a deep ball to Juwan Jennings. He's the slowest wide receiver in football. Don't do that. So great. You call it to the right guy. Nice. Ricky Pearsall gets open. Wonderful. Problem is your quarterback can't throw deep. And he misses him. It's incomplete. Should have been another touchdown. So even though Kyle Shanahan was awful today, he did give Brock those two opportunities, which Brock just completely botched. And then a couple plays later, Kyle Shanahan calls a stutter go for Juwan Jennings. Come on, man. That should have been to Jacob Cowing. But you call it to Juwan Jennings, and Brock Purdy overthrows him because he runs in slow motion and intercepted. On second down, in the red zone, what was it, tied? What was the score? I'm sorry. I should know this. Yeah. No, they were down 3. Down 3 in the red zone. All they had to do was hand off twice, kick a field goal. It would be tied. But he takes a shot. Kyle calls a pass. I don't know, man. I'm not outraged with this team anymore. It's just they keep doing it week after week, and it's like, remember we were talking last week about, hey, maybe they found a new identity? No. They found a team that's worse than them. This is the 49ers identity. And frankly, Brock Purdy's bad season is a big part of it. And I think it's at least instructive. It's educational. Now they know that he isn't necessarily their franchise quarterback. I mean, 9-9 his last 18 starts. Can't throw in the rain. He has an average arm at best. He's small. He's not particularly good when he's losing late in games. So, I don't know. I think the Niners were prepared to give him a lot of money, but like they have to not do that. No more than $35 million a year. I think we can all agree on that. And they have to draft a quarterback. Or, depending on what happens the next few weeks, this was awful what happened in this game. Depending on what happens the next few weeks, who knows? Maybe the Niners want to trade him. Go get someone else. Is he getting better or getting worse? You never stay the same. You think because he's young, he has like room to grow, but does he? I don't think he does. I think as he gets exposed to the league more and more, he gets worse. And I think in retrospect, a lot of his success, if not most of it, was tied to the fact that he was playing with the best running back in football, Christian McCaffrey. And as soon as McCaffrey went down and wasn't special anymore, Purdy wasn't special anymore. And I don't think McCaffrey's going to be special anymore. He's going to be 29 next year. So maybe the Niners need to keep looking for a quarterback. Someone who's a little bit bigger, who has a little bit stronger of an arm, who can throw when it's raining. It rains in Northern California. How unfortunate that the most important game of the year, it rained here. But that could happen. It's going to happen every season. As bad as Kyle Shanahan was today, Brock Purdy could have won the game. The other team scored 12 points. All he had to do was hit one or two of those long throws, not throw the interception. Like, Matthew Stafford didn't have a good game either, but he was so much better than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy looked like an amateur out there. Stafford was not going to beat himself. Purdy essentially did. Now, Kyle could have made his job easier. Like, going back to Kyle for a second. Hey, man, You've been coaching here for 8 years. You kind of have to be prepared for the rain. It rains here. It's not Atlanta. And like, where are the really easy throws? There was a lot of downfield throws today that Brock missed, but it's a wet ball. Where are your screens? You think if Bill Walsh were coaching this team today, he would have been calling those shot plays? He would have called a stutter go to Jawan Jennings in the fourth? Like, no. No. Where are the screens? You had them last week. They worked. And then Kyle's like, let's just forget those. It was funny too. Like, I keep going back to Kyle Shanahan. I can't. So he spends the whole game trying to make it work with Deebo Samuel when it's clearly hasn't been working with Deebo for like ever. Go back to McVay. He early on, who does he try to get the ball to? Cooper Kupp. Like 3 throws to Cooper Kupp. It is clear that guy is not getting open. He's as washed as Deebo is. What does Sean McVay do the rest of the game? Not throw to Cooper Kupp. You're done. Sorry, buddy. Thank you for everything that you've done. Love you, man. You know, I'll be at your wedding or whatever. Like, you're done. We're gonna hand off to Kyron Williams 29 times. You got to give Sean McVay credit for that. The game plan was get the ball to Cooper Kupp. Within 3 throws, he was like, oh, not working. Not going to do that anymore because we'll lose. Whereas Kyle Shanahan's game plan was get the ball to Deebo. And it wasn't working. And he's like, if I just try this 18 or 19 more times, it might work. What do they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. Was that not the 2024 season for the 49ers? Still, though, who was worse today? Kyle Shanahan or Brock Purdy? That's a tough one. It might have been Brock. That interception was like, you didn't have to throw that. It was second down. Yeah, Kyle called some stupid play, some stutter go, like, scramble. Throw it away. You took points off the board, assuming Moody would have made that kick, which maybe you wouldn't have. But what, they were at the 34? Yeah, I mean, that's a 52-yard field goal. He's made that. You took points off the board in a 3-point game. You can't do that. And I think you saw it with Matthew Stafford. That's a 36, 37-year-old quarterback. It's a very mature guy. I mean, that's a guy who really can throw the ball down the field. And he restrained himself. He just checked it down all freaking game. He had the one long throw to Puka Nacua, but essentially just took the safe throw endlessly. And Brock cracked. You know who really must have enjoyed this? Jimmy. Maybe Jimmy doesn't have any business enjoying this kind of stuff because, like, what happened to your career? But, like, he must have been on the sideline laughing his ass off.